Greetings, family. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new to this channel, I'm Advocate Buleng. Today, I want to talk about the fact that YouTube discontinued TB Joshua's channels. This is a continuation of what we had started a few weeks ago. Why I believe the allegations against TB Joshua by the victims, or should I call them survivors? But whatever name that I choose to use, it's not to trivialize their pain at all. It's not an attempt to trivialize their pain, because these young women and men as well, they've been through the most, and I really want to empathize with them. But on the other hand, I want to be very grateful to people who have played a very, very important role in this journey of this deliverance. Now, this is what I called deliverance, not what Chibi Joshua calls deliverance. This is a deliverance. When people are able to come out and be brave and to narrate what they went through, it's actually not easy. If you have been a victim of this sort of violence, you would know that it's not easy to come out. There are so many issues at stake. You ask yourself, are people going to believe me? This man is so powerful. I don't want to make myself a fool. I don't want to risk my life. So it's actually not easy for people to come out and speak about these experiences. But here they are. They came out and they spoke, and I want to applaud them for that. And I also want to acknowledge the role that was being played by Bisola for many, many years. Bisola had spoken. To be honest with me, as I said in the beginning, I had questions. When I started to have questions after being there 4 times, I didn't know who to ask these questions. But the more I went, the more I would be discovering one thing, and I would begin to ask, but why this? An audio by Bisola I came across that audio in the same day. 3 different people who don't know each other sent me this audio. And that was the beginning of my answers to all the questions that I had had. So it just confirmed what was already a suspicion. And I thank God for that day. And I thank God for Bisola. I also want to thank God for open democracy, which has also played a major role in this process. I thank God for BBC. I thank God for YouTube for its ethical standard of not allowing people to abuse others through this platform, of being very cautious of people's human rights and being aware and actively protecting the human rights of people. So this should be a lesson to all of us who have YouTube channels, that this is not something that you can just play around with, open your mouth, destroy people's lives, and not bear in mind the repercussions of everything that you post on these channels. Even if I can say, welcome to my YouTube channel, We take this as an opportunity, as a great opportunity, and we are grateful that we can express ourselves through this channel, but not to abuse other people. That is why I get surprised when people drop very nasty messages. Some will say, "Oh, I don't even believe that you are a lawyer." I don't understand what has got my lawyering got to do with anything. I am here as a member of the body of Christ, and I'm pained by the state of the church today because of the church has been infiltrated by many who are wolves in sheepskins, who do not have the interest of the church at heart, who just want to run businesses and be multimillionaires, and they don't even care for anybody. So I'm very grateful to God for this closure. I'm very grateful to God for this development. It started with DSTV. Apparently, the numbers were going down. That is why they closed it. Open democracy. Is it open secrecy or democracy? Now I've forgotten. Whatever it is, they also played a role in the closure of the YouTube channel. So I am very, very grateful for that. I'm very, very grateful to God because you know what? God cannot be mocked. If it was a God thing, it was going to stand. But because it's a distraction, it will not stand. And it is my prayer that it will not stand. I'm reminded of somewhere in the book of Acts, chapter 5, where it says, "And so in this case, I tell you, do not take any action against these men. Leave them alone. If what they have planned and done is of human origin, it will disappear. But if it comes from God, you cannot possibly defeat them. You could find yourselves fighting against God. If it's of human origin, it will not stand." Synagogue Church of All Nations, no matter how big it is, no matter how it seemed to be prosperous, I really don't believe it's a God thing. I think it's of human origin, and therefore it will disappear. The sad part of the story is that there are people who are fighting us, and they think that they are protecting a man of God. They say he's the anointed of God, and they are not aware that they could be fighting God by fighting us. This is God's time, God trying to expose. Actually, they are exposed already, but God shutting it down, shutting everything down. My prayer is everything must be shut down. But now we have to continue to talk, because you must remember that this big snake has produced many snakes which went to different direction. Small snakes that went to many different directions all over the world. Footprints, disciples, or do you want to call them devotees, all over the world. Sons, so-called sons and daughters, all over the world. The reason why I'm using the scenario of a snake is because I'm reminded of Bisola's dream, where she said she had a dream of a very tall, tall snake, which was dry at the top. And then when she looked down, this big, tall snake released smaller snakes, which were running around, going to different directions. These were his sons and daughters who are now all over the world. He left footprints. So that is why we cannot keep quiet. So that is why they must also come down. His church, so-called church, because we are not fighting against the church of God. It must also be brought down. Those of us who are called to pray, who are called to intercede, we must not stop praying until the church of God is restored to its true glory. Not for the church to be led by people who are not even priests in the first place. Today, the church, especially in Africa, is led by witch doctors, not priests. It's witch doctors this side, they're making money through their witch doctoring. For those that are interested in the witch stuff, on the other hand, on Sunday they say they are pastors, they say they are priests. I saw another one in South Africa. He's from Zimbabwe. He proudly said he's a witch doctor, he's also a priest. On Sunday he becomes a priest. How does that happen? How can light and darkness be in the same space? Because even like with electricity, when you switch it on, when the power goes on, darkness runs away. But this guy says he's a witch doctor and then he's also a pastor. Some of them, they don't want to be honest. At least what I will give to him is that at least he's honest about it. Some of them, they are literally witch doctors, but they parade as priests. They know that they are not. They know that they don't have a call of God. They are not priests. Everything that they do is that of witch doctor. But they climb on the pulpit and they call themselves pastors and they begin to make demands. Then they read the word and they'll be quoting scriptures. Then they'll be sucking the people of God money every day without any mercy. Then they will be recording 1 or 2 videos and then they'll be called philanthropists when they don't have any interest in giving. You know, even if people can say TB Joshua was a giver, just look at his videos. It's old videos. Do we see him doing that every day? When was the last time you saw TB Joshua giving, like genuine giving? When was the last time? Everybody who talks about him giving, they're talking about old videos. But even if he was giving, the fact that he was giving does not make him a man of God, does not qualify him to be a man of God. Anybody can give, whether you are a Christian or not. If you have a heart of giving, you can give. But that does not make you a Christian. Actually, as far as I understand, every faith advocates giving, especially the Muslim. They are givers. So I'm not surprised because he comes from that religion. He knows the benefits of giving. So we should not be using this as a mark of him being a man of God. So I am very, very grateful for this latest development. You know, when I heard that, I said, God cannot be mocked. God cannot be mocked. I remember even years ago when we used to discuss this man with somebody who was so much pained by him. But I will not give the details here, and I will never give those details because that person told me in confidence. You know, when we were discussing this man, I said to this person, because this is what was in my spirit, I said, you know what? This man, he's not that powerful. We think that he is powerful, but he is not. And let me tell you, God cannot be mocked. So this is clear from the latest developments that indeed God cannot be mocked. I don't want to come here and pretend. I am very happy. I'm very happy for the body of Christ that God is restoring his body. God is restoring his body from its former glory, from where it's supposed to be. It's the body of Christ is rising in power. But I'm also very happy on a personal level. You know, my sister, the only TV that she watches is Emmanuel TV. And I was happy when I was told that DSTV has closed it. Then I thought, I know that she doesn't have too much access to YouTube. But I'm sure she was going to make a plan. I'm happy that even the YouTube is discontinued. It's banned, it's shut down. I don't know what is the correct term there to use. But whatever the term is, I am very happy for this latest development. God is at work. So I'm very, very grateful for the work that Open Democracy has done. I'm very, very grateful for YouTube on its stance on the protection of human rights of people. I'm very grateful for the survivors for their bold stance, and let them know that there are people who believe them, and we are very sorry for what they went through. And I know that they represented so many others, even those many others that are still scared, that are not brave enough to come out and talk about their experiences. We are very sorry. Or the other person that I have forgotten, it's Paul Agomo, and all others that have been talking for many years, who are being not being believed, who have lost friends because of this journey. Yes, and to be solar as well. May God bless you. And most importantly, I want to thank the Almighty who has been with us up to so far. For some of us, we did not go through what these other people went through. We just had a taste, just a little bit of a taste. Just a little bit, a little bit. We can never ever compare ourselves with people who went through this for 10 years, 14 years, staying in this camp. There's no way. These are the people of God. And may God bless you all.